Hey guys, I'm back with another candle review, and this time around it's for the 14.5 ounce 3-wick Washington's Finest Apple Macchiato candle from Bath & Body Works, part of the upcoming collection of new fall candles. The notes on this read, Washington spiced apples, hint of cinnamon and caramel drizzle, and frothed milk. This one was the one that I was most anticipating and super excited for, but after having burned it and smelled it, I can't say I'm as excited for it now. It's actually kind of generic and underwhelming, to be totally honest. So what does it smell like? It's pretty much just like this, it's like a candied apple fragrance. Like think of like a apple Jolly Rancher, or maybe even like the Werther's caramel apple flavored like hard candy that they have, or like maybe those like caramel apple pops. But more emphasis on just the apple flavored portion of that candy and less on the caramel. There's a hint of caramel, but it's not the leading note by any means. It's mainly like this super sweet candied apple fragrance that is ever so slightly spiced, and that's pretty much what this smells like. It's very similar to pumpkin apple, which is like another spiced apple fragrance. It's very similar to pumpkin apple, but a little less spicy, a little bit brighter, a little bit candier, and a little bit more sweeter than pumpkin apple is. But definitely sibling fragrances that are like very, very similar. Like when you smell them on cold, the two side by side, they're quite similar. Pumpkin apple is definitely spicier, but still very similar fragrances nonetheless. So it just comes off as like a generic spiced apple. And it's made a little bit sweeter and a little bit more candied. And you get just maybe a hint of a creaminess. It's, I guess, supposed to evoke the froth milk, but it's not overly creamy. It just comes off as like sweet and maybe a little bit smoother and a little less spicy than pumpkin apple. And then very, very, very last in the background is just a little bit of like a sweet caramel fragrance that's laced in with that sort of creamy smoothness that give it, once again, a little bit more of like a candied sweetness to it. And it just really kind of smells like a sweet, like spiced apple candy fragrance is what it kind of smells like, and that's pretty much it. It's just very generic and underwhelming and very, very redundant to pumpkin apple, that I just don't find it to be super necessary in the lineup. I think Thanksgiving would have fit this fragrance so much better. That was just a much more of like a robust and more like layered fragrance that had a stronger, like almost like a juicy quenching caramel cider mixed in with a very sweet apple as well, and the caramel was also stronger and it was also milkier. Like it just totally like matches what this fragrance should have been according to the notes in the naming, but instead we just get this like weird watered down pumpkin apple variation, and I'm just not a huge fan of it. It's not offensive, and doesn't smell like bad by any means. It's like it's still a pleasant fragrance, but it's just very generic and underwhelming. It's just very run of the mill. So it's like, I guess, my qualm with it. Yeah, I mean, I when you see macchiato, you're gonna think either it might have like espresso or coffee notes in it, which this totally doesn't, or that it'd be a little bit more milkier or drink forward, but it's not really that either. This could just be called like apple candy, and I would believe it. So that's pretty much what this smells like. If you like pumpkin apple but want a sweeter variety of it, with just a hint of a smooth, sweet trace of caramel, then check this out. But otherwise, it's just a total pass for me. So that's pretty much it. Let me go into the performance. This is a third burn and has a thick rope-like wicks that set like crazy, so deep, even wax pull in no time. Just make sure you trim them, or it does so very excessively, so just keep that in mind. As for the throw, it's just very medium. I would say anywhere from like the 4 to a 5 range. It's not super present or strong in a living room. You kind of got to go sniffing for it, and just very medium in like a bedroom. So I would just say anywhere from like a 4 to a 5, possibly like a 6 if you're in a smaller bedroom. But I don't think it's even as strong as pumpkin apple is. It's a little bit more watered down and diluted than it is, but yeah, so just very, very, very medium. Overall, it's still a pleasant fragrance, not offensive by any means, but it's just kind of like a waste or just like a useless another run-of-the-mill apple fragrance when like pumpkin apple already exists. So yeah, I don't know. It's just like things like Cider Lane are so much more robust and awesome and unique that like that's so much better of like a sweet caramel apple fragrance, or even like the old school Slacken & Co. original caramel apple that had like a heavy brown sugar presence in it. That was excellent too. It's just like, you know, they have all these like fantastic apple fragrances in the vault, like even bring out like friggin' apple pumpkin pancakes, or Dutch apple waffles is still better than this, or like berry pumpkin strudel was excellent. Like there's just so many awesome fall fragrances in the vault, yet they release such just like underwhelming, like just generic variations of the same stuff that's already out over and over again. That's just what's kind of frustrating with BBW, but I understand. I guess that's what the demographic or what the majority or the popular masses enjoy, so they just kind of hover on the same safe fragrances, and this is the result of that. So it's kind of just what you get with Bath & Body Works, so it is what it is, I guess. So it's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.